Welcome everyone to What's Buzzing today. We have some really special guests today. This is the first time that we've had the opportunity to circle up with our Dean of Students area, the office, those associate deans and assistant deans and Dean Stein here to help with a panel just to help you all get to know everyone that serves in this office a little bit better. So welcome from Parent Family Programs, welcome from Student Life here at Georgia Tech. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Dean Stein.
Great. Thank you, Sharon. Um, Greetings from my office here at Georgia Tech. We're excited that you've joined us today. So I want to just say that I'm really pleased to introduce you to some of this wonderful staff that work with me as associate and assistant deans and work with all of your students on a daily basis. Today, what we're going to do is spend some time to get to know them and get to know their areas. And I have two questions that I'm going to ask them, and then we're going to open it up for you to ask questions of them. So the first thing I'd like each of them to do is to just, say a little bit about themselves and about the area that they oversee and supervise. And then I will ask another question after that. So why don't we start with Sabrina, if you want to go first?
Sure. Greetings, everyone. My name is Sabrina Barnes. I serve as Assistant Dean of Student and Director of Disability Services. I lead a team of 5 professionals, 1 professional assistant, 1 testing coordinator, and 3 disability coordinators. Together, we supervise about 2,700 students with diverse needs, and that includes chronic and mental health, learning disabilities, and also temporary disabilities as well. The purpose of our office is to ensure that students that disclose their disability receive reasonable accommodations as they matriculate here at Georgia Tech. One of the things that I would like to share with you is that on September 10th, from 5 to 6:30, we will host a open house for students to come in to meet our office. We'll discuss topics in regards to accommodations, any questions or answers that they need navigating as they implement their accommodations here. And also I want to discuss with them if they plan on taking any study abroad or participating in any study abroad programs in the future, how those accommodations can also apply at any of the study abroad locations. So that is the Office of Disability Services. Thank you.
Right. Sabrina, how long have you been at Georgia Tech?
Oh, I've been at Georgia Tech for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in January.
Very good. Thank you. All right, Colleen.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Colleen Riggle. I serve as Associate Dean of Students here in the main Dean of Students office area. Starting my 20th academic year at Georgia Tech, worked previously somewhere in housing for 3 years, so collectively almost 25 years of experience. But I work in the main Dean of Students office area. I oversee the orientation and transition group, supervise 3 folks, and collectively we're a group of about 15. Day to day, just meet with students regarding academic and non-academic issues, and also kind of run and manage our on-call after our student life staff person process.
Wonderful. James?
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. James E. Allen Jr. I serve as one of our Assistant Dean of Students and Director of New Student and Transition Programs, where I help oversee our Facet Orientation Program, where we saw about 2,500 of you this summer. So thank you all so much for coming. Rec Camp Extended Orientation, and then Connect, our first year leadership organization, which some of your students should have gotten the opportunity to talk a little bit to at First Friday this past week. I've been at Georgia Tech since 2019. Serving as a hall director my first year here. And then ever since then, I've been in new student and transition programs, working my way up to the director position. So with that, I oversee around 90 individuals in my office, from facet leaders, rec camp counselors, professional staff, first year leadership organizations, as I just stated. Just a little bit about our office. We are your one-stop shop for new student orientation, like I mentioned, for our rec camp and facet opportunities. But then we also help your students get acclimated to the Georgia Tech community through those experiences, but also through transition programs where we partner with some of our on-campus and off-campus partners to teach them things that they may need to know along their time here at Georgia Tech. So that's just a little bit about me and the NSTP office.
Great. Thank you, James. And Christina.
Hi, my name is Christina Clement. I serve as the Associate Dean of Students and the Director of the Center for Student Engagement. So our mission is to help your student get connected and find a community here at Georgia Tech. We have 5 different areas in the Center for Student Engagement. First and largest is our student organizations, where we have over 600 opportunities for students to get involved. We will be having student organization fairs this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. So tell your son or daughter to go out and meet some organizations. There's lots of different opportunities to get involved, and if they can't find one that works for them, they can also start their own organization. I also oversee student media. We have a newspaper, The Technique, which is one of the South's oldest and liveliest college newspapers. We have Rec Radio, which broadcasts 24 hours a day, all year long, from our student center on the 2nd floor. So it's a great opportunity if your student wants to be a DJ or likes to do shows. We also have literary magazines, news magazines, research journals, so lots of ways for students to get involved in student media. If they don't have experience, that's okay, we will teach them. We also have a civic engagement area where we look to help our students get involved on campus and in the community surrounding Atlanta. So if they're interested in doing any type of volunteer work or service work in the community, we also have opportunities for students who have federal work study to work in our office through our civic engagement area and do community-based work study. We also host Fraternity and Sorority Life, which is actually the biggest ever right now at Georgia Tech. We just finished our primary recruitment season for our Interfraternity Council and our Collegiate Panhellenic Council. We welcomed about 1,100 new members to that community over the last week and a half. So that's a very robust opportunity for students to get engaged. And then lastly, we have our John Lewis Student Leadership Pathways program, where students can kind of design their own student leadership program over the course of their academic career at Georgia Tech and get some coaching from staff in our office. So we really want students to get connected. We're really excited that they're here on campus, and our office is open on the 3rd floor of the John Lewis Student Center every day from 8 to 5, and students can just walk in and talk to our staff about getting connected. This year, we're also launching a special program called Project Connect, which actually closes today. And it's going to be short-term 5-week programs for students who are looking to make friends. So great opportunities for your students to get involved.
Wonderful. I hope you're already seeing just kind of the diversity of programs and also the wonderful opportunities that each of these departments offer your students. My next question to all of you, from where you sit and during your time at Georgia Tech and your involvement with students and listening to students and working with students and stuff, many times here we have parents of first-year or new students that join us. There potentially are some upper-class families here too. What advice would you give to students, to families, to offer their students some advice on how to be successful? So I'd like your thoughts on, from what you've learned from our students, from what you observed and the kinds of conversations, and from the area that which you sit, what advice would you give in terms of success at Georgia Tech?
I could start if you'd like.
Sure, go ahead.
So we had coffee with a dean last week, and one of the students actually asked this similar question, and I kind of jokingly said, go to class, which I think is probably the primary reason to be successful. But I think over my time, what I've seen is students oftentimes don't like to reach out and ask for help at any point during the term. I think they come in with the knowledge that they should be able to do this on their own, but Tech has a lot of resources, whether it's in the dean's office or academic success or within their faculty unit, that really want to be helpful and supportive. And so I think early and often having your student reach out for assistance as they may need it.
Great. James?
I would have to piggyback off of Colleen. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because something that I see within, a few of my dean appointments and just meetings that I have with students is that they don't want to utilize the resources because they feel like they're cheating themselves out of their experience that here at Georgia Tech. They feel as though if they utilize the resources or what have you, it's almost like they're not earning it themselves. So something that I've made it my point in saying to them in these meetings is it's best that you utilize these resources. That is what we're here for. Utilize the office hours, utilize the time with your TAs, utilize the tutoring while you're here. A ton of our students will also say, well, I don't necessarily want to register for like disability services, like Sabrina area as well. And that is a resource that is here for you as well. So like Colleen mentioned, definitely utilize the resources here. That's what we're here for, to help you along your Georgia Tech career.
Sabrina?
Yes, as James stated, our office is here to assist students with disabilities. And what I've learned during my tenure here at Tech is that students try to, especially our incoming freshmen, they try and they want to use, they want to be successful, but they don't want to utilize their accommodations. And oftentimes they're not. They find themselves academically drowning by mid-semester, when if they would just reach out to our office to get the assistance that they need. And and I always tell students it is okay, and don't look at your accommodations as a scarlet letter, but it's designed to help them be successful. So we truly encourage students to utilize these services. And again, as Dean Riggles stated, that reaching out to the academic services, my team and I, we always encourage students to reach out to academic services. There's coaching, academic coaches for time management, study skills, and there are also peer tutors as well. So just encourage your students to reach out to our office if they don't know how to navigate to those locations. All of the deans and associate deans are available for all of our students.
Great. Christina?
All right, get ready. No, just kidding. I have lots of advice for students when it comes to getting involved and getting engaged. One thing I often tell students at the beginning is that a lot of times tech students particularly, they're very discerning and they're like, what do I want to do? And they're worried about their academic experience and how that will mesh with student organizations or involvement. But there's actually quite a bit of research that shows that students who are involved on campus tend to do well academically. They tend to have higher persistence to graduation, higher retention, higher GPAs, and they report a better satisfaction with their college experience. So I tell students, like, get involved, find something that you want to get engaged in. And there's a difference between involvement and engagement. So one, I would encourage all the students to get involved, which means, going to different events that are happening on campus, going to a football game, maybe going out and doing service work, going to a workshop presented by, an office on campus. There's lots of ways that they can kind of learn a little bit about campus through their involvement, but also really encourage students to think about what it means to be an engaged student. So to get engaged in opportunities that are going to they're going to build on throughout their college career. And so when you think about engagement, I tell students to find two things. One should be something that they want that connects to their major, whether it's joining a student organization or a research group or something that's going to put them in proximity of students who are doing the same thing. That's going to help them build a community of support with students who are going through similar classes, maybe looking for similar internships. Also, a lot of the student organizations connected to majors host events with alumni where students may get a heads up about an internship that's opening or a co-op. So it's a great way to start building their professional network when they start at GT. And the second thing is to just do something purely for fun, whether it's like the Dungeons and Dragons Club or juggling or Rocket Club. We have lots of different organizations, and tech can be stressful. So doing something that's just purely for fun, to let them meet some people, is a great way for them to kind of relax and rest in the midst of all the chaos of college. So that's my recommendation.
Mind if I piggyback off of that, Dean Stein?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say about the student organizations as well. Like we have over 600 plus student organizations here. So definitely find what speaks to you when you get here in terms of your students finding an organization. And if it's not here on campus, there's an opportunity for them to be able to create their own organization as well with other like-minded students that want to create one. We had one student that was just came to FASHS this summer. She was very proud to announce, like, I'm going to join the lettuce eating club. And I'm like, great, do that. If that speaks to you, I'm all for it. I would think also something when it comes to our student organizations to try to ration your experience out as well. So it may not be the best to come in and join 6 or 7 student organization, be the president of this organization over here, and being in 2 flows as well. So definitely, see what Georgia Tech offers in terms of the academics and what you can do time management wise on organization and rationalize your experiences as well.
Yeah. James, do you want to just define flow? You said flow. People may not know what a flow is.
Apologies, Dean Stein. A Flow is a first-year leadership organization, and they're basically here on campus to help your student through leadership development. Christina could probably touch on it a little bit more on how many we have on campus, but I know we do have a first-year leadership organization. I might as well talk about it now. It's called Connect, that we do run out of the Office of NSTP, New Student Transition Program, and the goal of Connect is to essentially connect first years to other first years, forming friendships, having intentional conversations around what those students are experienced within their first year here at Georgia Tech. I think one of the cool things about Connect is that it's led by second year advisors. So students that were just in those students' shoes a year ago, getting them to understand these are some of the ways that you can progress through Georgia Tech, ways to have fun, ways to get through your classes, ways to go, different ways to maneuver through academics here, what have you, essentially providing wisdom to those first year students. So just wanted to mention that as well.
Wonderful. So I'm going to just a little define 2 things. One, you heard reference to the on-call and you heard reference to dean's meetings. So all of the associate assistant deans serve as part of the on-call rotation. They're on for a week, and that would be after hours and through the weekend. Okay, so we're on-call happens every single day of the year. And then the other thing is dean's meetings. We all have times that we set aside to be available to meet with deans. And so every single one of us spend some time sitting and talking to your students about whatever they need to talk about, whether it's academics, personal matters, and others, and then can make the appropriate referrals to other places on the campus. Okay. So I do see 2 things in terms of questions. So I'm going to go to the first one. It says, I'm a proud parent. My son transferred into Georgia Tech. One question I have is, how do you ensure that solutions to challenges that incoming students face are incorporated as continuous improvement for future incoming students to not face? Okay, who would like to take that question?
I can respond, and if others want to chime in, that's fantastic. First of all, thank you for letting us know that there was a challenge that your student experienced. And I think that's one way for us to be able to improve the process is to be made aware of what the challenges might be. I think from there, I think making sure that our office or the appropriate office makes contact with whatever that office or process is to let them know of the challenge and to make sure that it's not something that another student faces. So like for our office, we work very closely with financial aid. So if your student was to come in, we would probably connect with the Hope and Zell scholarship person there and to try and make sure that that gets resolved and that your student never experiences that again, or that any other student doesn't kind of go through that issue.
Anybody else have anything they want to add? Okay.
I would also say encourage your students to know that we also have office hours. So if they would like to come, and especially if it's something pertaining to our certain offices, there's something that they would like to experience more of, or they did not get enough at one of our experiences, to come let us know. My office is always wide open, and also with any of our experiences, we do utilize assessment data as well. So I know this past summer we were in that assessment data. Anytime that we saw anything that we could change to make an immediate impact, we were making that immediate impact by changing it based off of the data. So definitely, I know something. If you were to attend, if you attended FAST FACET this past summer. I will drop in the chat if you didn't get the opportunity to write anything on our assessments. Definitely would love to hear your feedback there too. But if we don't necessarily know, then sometimes we're not going to know exactly what changes to make. So we're definitely willing to hear all of that.
Wonderful. Does anybody else have any questions?
I had one additional thought to your success question from earlier, if you don't
Sure.
mind.
Go ahead.
So the one thing I was thinking as folks were talking and just thinking about the academic rigor here at Tech is that students early on in their time may take an exam and not do well. And that is not unusual, but it may be unusual for your student. I think using that experience to kind of learn and grow from that and have that derail the rest of their semester. So whether it's talking with the faculty or the TA about the exam, or maybe the median or the mean of the test score is lower, but using that as an experience to just kind of grow from that and to not necessarily kind of spiral in the sense of like, oh, everything is just, it's already done and that sort of thing, because it's not, and that one grade and that one test doesn't define your student.
Great.
And one other thing to piggyback off of Colleen, please, parents, remind your students that professors are available during their office hours and their TAs as well. So if there's a situation about an exam or a concept they do not understand, and they're not getting the resources that they need at the academic center, they are always, they have the opportunity to reach out to their professor and their TAs during their office hours. That information is located in their course syllabi.
Very good. Any other questions?
I just wanted to put in a shameless plug real quick in terms of involvement, if I could, Dean Stein.
Sure.
So also, if your students were at FACET or Rec Camp this past summer and they thought to themselves, like, I would like to be on that stage doing opening number, doing something fun with our office, we are opening up our Rec Camp counselor and FACET leader applications on September 8th. So I believe that's next week or 2 weeks from now. To get more information about this, you could simply go to our website, transitionprograms.gotech.edu, or you can follow us on Instagram at GTNSTP for all information about what these experiences entail. But definitely, we would love to see your students on staff for this upcoming summer, if that's something that they would like to do.
Yeah, that brings up a great kind of reminder that, as students live in the current semester, they should always have one eye towards the future in terms of housing, registration. They should know when those dates are so that they are following through with the necessary steps that they need to take. And also, like James just highlighted, believe it or not, we just started this semester, but this is the time that certain areas will start recruiting students for opportunities either this summer or potentially even next year. So students should just keep an eye out, and if they have any interest, then to connect with the department and just ask the question, when will you be recruiting students? I do have an interest in getting involved in maybe student government or orientation, or another organization on campus. So. Any other questions? So I guess, oh, here we go. Could Christina give an overview on the IFC pledging period, timeline, expectations? My son joined a frat this past week, but doesn't know what it will entail. Sure.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for this great question. We are excited for all these new members. And it's going to be a couple weeks of a pledge period, or we call it new member period instead of pledge. We're trying to sort of get away from that language because sometimes there's some negative connotations that go around with it. So currently, each group will have about 6 weeks for their new member period where they'll learn a little bit about the group that they're joining. They'll go around and meet different members within the group. They'll also participate in some new member education offered by our assistant dean and director of the fraternity and sorority life, Jamison Keller, basically to kind of educate them about hazing, alcohol policy, just general things that they might expect in terms of campus life. Oh, thank you. James just put in a Greek life timeline. This is something that we give our families as well to just kind of let them know about the process. If your son experiences any kind of complications, we would definitely advise him to reach out to our office. Typically, they're going to get a lot of education through their member educators in their chapters. So they'll learn a little bit about the history of the fraternity, maybe any philanthropies or service that they do on a regular basis. They'll probably also get upcoming information about like football games and how they go together, helping with homecoming. So I would expect that they'll spend a couple hours a week with their fraternity members, other members in the fraternity, getting educated and just getting to meet people. So it'll be a pretty busy time, but we do really also ask our fraternities to emphasize that you're here first and foremost to get educated at Georgia Tech. And so our fraternities do well academically, and they also encourage our students to study together. So we want them to have a good balance and time. And so if you find that you're talking to your son and they're spending a lot of time, you might just kind of nudge them and have a little conversation about balancing their time, like their social life with their academic life.
Very good. Well, we do have one recommendation from a parent that it would be nice to have a tailored, customized incoming reference list and clear steps to take to be successful as a transfer student. So coming in as a transfer student is different than a freshman. So having a clear action list would help. It can be overwhelming, especially if you join as a junior or senior. Perhaps at the end of the year, one student can share inputs to the list as an evolving checklist. And happy to serve on the parent board to make life easier for incoming families. Brian, who works over in the Center for Student Engagement, the Academic Success Student Center, does a lot of work with transfer students. And actually there is a GT 2000, which is offered for transfer students. And so we will certainly get that recommendation over to Brian and his staff. And also, I think
Can I make a recommendation?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Brian runs a very robust group, a transfer student association, and I put the link in the chat. Definitely have your son or daughter join that group because he does a lot with social activities and helping students learn the campus. And they do some of the types of activities that some of the students might normally do their first semester. They do it as a transfer group. So I would highly recommend that they connect with Brian and the Transfer Student Association because they kind of do go over that like checklist of things that first year new to tech students would need. Particularly if your son or daughter didn't sign up for GT 2000, which is a great resource as well.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I will just kind of piggyback. I know I'm not on the panel, but there is a community here in the Hive for families of transfer students, and Brian is very quick to produce content for that particular community. And I believe he has a document in there similar to what you're asking for. So I would definitely check that out, and you can share that out with your student as well.
Okay, if there are no other questions, then what I'm going to ask the panelists to do is to maybe give just some parting words on, anything you want in terms of helping families and helping families help their students. So anything you want to kind of just say as we wrap up today. So Christina, we'll let you go first.
Oh, put me on the spot. So I guess my advice is I've been really interested in this like sort of like loneliness epidemic that we talk about. You might see in the news about students feeling lonely on college campuses. And I just think there's so many things that students can get involved in here at Tech. And in our office, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for students. So if your student is feeling a little bit sad or lonely and they're not sure how to get connected, really try to encourage them to come to our office. You could have them come talk to me. We would love to help them plug in somewhere so that they can start developing connections that will keep them here at Tech and make them successful. And some of the things that we have to offer, like we do an event called Caffeinated Conversations every Wednesday at 3, where we just hang out with students, talk to them about what's going on, try to answer questions they might have, help them talk to each other. So if they're feeling lonely, I just want students to know that there's lots of ways and lots of people on campus that want to help them. And so just encourage them to reach out and not to stay in their rooms.
Great. Sabrina?
Sure. I would say that what I would tell a student and families is it is okay not to have it all figured out. This is a new chapter in their life. They're leaving a smaller environment, coming to college life, and growth takes time. It takes time. They're meeting new people. There's a new atmosphere, and it is okay to ask questions. We do not want them to walk around campus and on their own little island. As I tell students all the time, we are not here to live on our own island. Reach out to someone, whether it's a professor, a TA, someone in your class, or come over to the office, not the office, but student services. We're always here. Most of us are here until 5 o'clock. Some of us are here later. James and his team, sometimes they're here until 9 o'clock at night. But yes, reach out to someone on campus, make a friend. And again, just don't live on your island by yourself, because it does become lonely, and things begin to close in really fast when students are not reaching out to all the resources that are available here on campus.
Great. As I transition to Colleen, can someone answer the question? They want Brian's contact information. So if someone could just type that in. Colleen?
Yeah, this is a great question. And I think one way to answer it is, I think, being here today and being a part of these webinars to learn and see what is going on campus so that you can help inform your student. I think, like everyone has said, there's plenty of resources on campus to support your student. And I would say really encourage your student to kind of make that first attempt, or that first reach out, or that first email connection. Instead of, I think oftentimes as parents, I think we really want to be that one that just kind of does it automatically. And I think it's going to help them in the long run be able to make that connection early on. Now, I would say, if we get into 4 or 5 weeks in the semester, they're still struggling. I think at that point, you could let us know. We have a referral link on our website that James will probably drop into the chat. But really just encouraging them to reach out to the resources and letting them be the one that takes that first step.
Very good. James?
Yeah, so something that I tried to get across this summer to all of our parents and families is that your students are truly in good hands with us here at Georgia Tech. Like all of the other panelists have said, there's so many resources here on campus to help with anything that your student is going through, especially the Dean of Students office. I can't say that enough. There's a few students, or a couple of students, that always come through and they're just like, well, I thought the dean's office was like the principal's office or something like that, or a place where I only go when I'm in trouble. But our slogan is literally that we're a friend of the student. We want for you to be able to book these appointments with us and have conversations around anything that you may be going through. I think the second thing is to encourage your students to be intentional about their experience here at Georgia Tech, because I will say it goes by really fast. So with that, consider them joining student organizations, or going to those sporting events, coming to family weekend and having fun, or going to spring reunion, or just finding different ways to stay engaged in the Georgia Tech community. So definitely be intentional with your time here, because like I said, It'll be gone in 4 or 5 years, and that goes fast sometimes.
Very good. Well, great. We'll wrap up today. What I want to do is remind everyone of what I say during facet orientation all summer is that we're all in a time of transition. Okay, your students are in a time of transition and you're in a time of transition. And we need to keep that in mind because transitions take time. Okay, they don't just happen very, very quickly. We have to be patient and they have to be patient. And, each day they'll feel better, they'll learn more, they'll feel more anchored if they're new here, and they'll learn more. And so, we're only in the second week of classes. Okay, it may feel longer, but it's only been a blink right now. And so just ask them to feel free to take some time and just learn tech and figure out their path. There's so many wonderful options here. Just take the time to figure it out. And I hope today what we did was to demonstrate all of the wonderful people that are on the campus and on the Dean staff to assist your students and to assist you. And Sharon does a great job, and Ashley, in keeping all of you informed about the many things that are available to you and to your students. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Dean Stein, for coming up with this great idea and sharing all of your collective knowledge with our families. We really appreciate it. So round of applause for our panelists and for our facilitator, Dean Stein. Thank you all so much. Hope everybody has a great day. And of course, go Jackets.
Okay.